Perfect.
How is it going, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of Beared Down Uncut, the show where we talk everything Bears every day of the week. Today, in episode number 184 of Uncut, I am back giving you guys 5 round 2 draft prospects for the Chicago Bears. Round 1 of the NFL draft happened last night. Bears, it is finally time for them to go and pick. A crazy, hectic night. A.J. Brown was traded. Marquise Brown was traded. A ton of crazy moves happening all across the board, but the time for the Bears is here. There are some very good prospects left on the board. I'm going to be breaking them all down for you guys today. Before we get into it and I introduce myself, I would like to say you guys have been showing crazy support on all the draft content recently. So if you want more Bears draft content and comprehensive coverage throughout the entire 2022 season, do me a favor, drop a like, subscribe, follow wherever you are listening, and we're going to do our best to bring you guys a new podcast each and every day. I am your host, Chris Maltby. I could never be happier that a Friday rolled around. Green Bay did not draft a wide receiver last night. There are some good targets for the Bears at a lot of different positions still on the board. I am really looking forward to tonight. I also will be live streaming this evening with the Windy City Productions. I'm going to be sharing that link down below in the description. It's going to be a great time reacting to the picks, so be sure to come and tune in. It's me, the Windy City Productions. Jaylen will be around as well as the Fireside Bears crew. So a great panel for you guys tonight. Be sure to come check out that live stream for sure. Day 2, though, the NFL draft is here. The Bears hold 2 picks in the second round, numbers 39 and 48 overall. We've still got some good prospects to run down. I'm going to be giving you guys, as I said, 5 today to keep an eye on for tonight. Let's get it started with the wide receiver position. George Pickens out of Georgia is still on the board. We saw 6 wide receivers go last night in the first 20 picks. I was getting a little antsy that some of these potential second-round guys were going to get bumped up to the first round. However, picks, I believe 19 to 32 had no wide receivers. So Pickens stays alive, lives another day, has a chance to come to Chicago. He is someone who we have raved about on this channel. He is someone who Bears fans are raving about at this moment. 6'3", 195 pounds out of Georgia. Pickens obviously coming off of that torn ACL. However, this man is an absolute beast, has some great burst and is over to overtake press coverage to get deep on routes, is great in all levels of the field, whether you're throwing to him intermediate level, short level, or if he's going deep, he can make plays wherever you put him on the field. He has great sudden hands. The catch radius is something that stands out here with Pickens. He is someone who can go up, not only jump incredibly high and has great body control in the air, but also can catch the ball wherever you put it on him. If the Bears look to bring him in at 39, I think that's a pick all of us would be completely fine with. Pickens is someone overall great strength as well. His hands don't let him down in many cases. All in all, this is a great prospect that Chicago can take tonight, assuming he falls to 39. So George Pickens is one of the guys that will be there for Chicago. And I would argue that their number one position that they need to address is wide receiver. We're going to move on to one more wide receiver. We're going to talk about offensive line and then some defensive prospects as well. Moving into this second one, personally, my favorite target at wide receiver, Christian Watson. This is the boomer bust prospect that we've been talking about all week and for the last couple of weeks out of North Dakota State. 6'4", 208 pounds. NFL Next Gen Stats says he will eventually be a plus starter based on his grade through his college tape as well as his NFL Combine results. 4.36 40-yard dash and a 38.5 on the vertical jump. I do believe that Watson is someone who could come in, be that X wide receiver that Chicago is looking to fill with Allen Robinson heading to the Los Angeles Rams. He is someone who can play split end, and he can make some incredible plays. He was one of the most explosive receivers the FCS has ever seen getting on the field at North Dakota State. And he had touchdown production through the air. They were handing it off to him on the ground. His speed is really underrated overall. He plays incredibly fast from snap to whistle. He has great foot quickness, and similar to Pickens, he can do stuff all over the field. As I mentioned, they used him as a running back in a lot of jet sweep opportunities last year, and I believe that's something that Chicago could put to good use. He leverages the defender's hips and can cut the opposite way. So he's pretty good against some of the better cornerbacks that he saw in college. Also is effective at all routes on the route tree. So overall, Watson is a great prospect that I would love to come to Chicago. He does have a little bit of concerns when it comes to his drop, but he did have some improved hand strength in 2021 that would only continue coming into the league. So we heard all the Jamar Chase drops everything rumors last year. We're hearing some similar stuff here for Christian Watson. All in all, I think he is a great prospect who could come into Chicago. He's probably, personally, my number one option. I just put him second because so many Bears fans want to hear about Pickens, who obviously would be a great pick as well. So at number 2 there, the last wide receiver on this list, at least for who I want on day 2 and who I think is the best available prospect, we've got Christian Watson. We're going to move into one offensive line prospect before moving into 2 that fell out of the first round on the defensive side of the ball. We're moving over here to Bernhard Raimann. This is someone who I haven't talked about, I believe, on the show. I potentially had him in a mock draft. I can't quite remember. He also is someone who is mocked to be eventually a plus starter per NFL Next Gen Stats, coming out of the Central Michigan Chippewas. And an Austrian native. He's 6'6", 303 pounds. Repped out 30 repetitions on the bench press during his NFL combine. Raimann is a mauler. Raimann is a beast. He is excuse me, someone whose draft projection was in round 1. He's going to fall to round 2. His NFL comparison is Sebastian Vollmer, who was a good offensive lineman in the league for years. You might ask me, hey, Chris, why do you want the Bears to go with a tackle? They can use help wherever they can get it amongst the offensive line right now. They've got Lucas Patrick in there, as well as Cody Whitehair, Sam Mustipher, Tevin Jenkins, Larry Borum. I think the only 2 or 3 pieces that are probably locked in on that line so far are Whitehair as well as Jenkins. So grabbing a tackle, someone to play across from Tevin Jenkins, isn't the worst thing of all time. I love what Raimann brings to the table. He's someone who can fly up the field and continue to make blocks in the second level. He's great at sliding outside in pass blocking, well-balanced and consistent in all of his blocking overall. He rides rushers around the arc with agile feet. And overall, he has a great anchor with a great bull rush initially. Justin Fields needs all the protection he can get. And if you can bring in this solid offensive tackle, someone that would fit well, and it seems like someone who is a Ryan Poles guy, I absolutely would love to have Bernhard Raimann in Chicago. Now, you must ask, and I'm sure a lot of you asking, why didn't we go entirely offensive prospects, or why did we go offensive prospects first on this list? My reasoning behind that is, I could see the Bears going best player available, and that's why for these next 2, I'm going to go to defensive side of the ball. Go to the defensive side of the ball for these last 2 picks. However, I would like to see the Bears prioritize the offense, prioritize building around Justin Fields. However, and if I'm being completely honest, we don't know how competitive the Bears really are going to be. So maybe going best player available is the right way for Chicago to go with this draft class. Let's move into number 4 and 5 now. Number 4, a name I didn't expect that I would be saying, Andrew Booth Jr., a cornerback out of Clemson. Roger McCreary out of Auburn is also someone who is going to be available, but Booth is quite the attractive pick and overall could come in and absolutely dominate alongside Jaylen Johnson in Chicago. Out of Clemson, 6 feet tall, 194 pounds. He is a press zone combo corner, really good size, really good length, and he has a 5-star background. He has 5-star measurables. And overall, I absolutely love his play watching him on tape at Clemson. His feet are agile and twitchy. His back pedal is very smooth and fast. He is a downhill striker who can make tackles on the running back. He has great burst off the line of scrimmage, is able to keep up with receivers downfield. He also has great awareness overall when both in man and in zone coverage. So had a great year at Clemson. Overall, he plays with an urgent and competitive nature, and I think he has really good strength, balance, and agility that would translate to Chicago. I absolutely, without a doubt, think Booth would be ready to play on day 1. Let's move into my last player on this list. This is one that has gained a lot of traction in Chicago throughout the last couple of days. We know Roquan Smith's one of the best linebackers in the league. Pairing him up with Nakobe Dean would be quite the amount of fun. Someone who also formerly played at Georgia, just like Smith, Nakobe Dean, someone who had an incredible last year at Georgia for the champion Bulldogs, 5'11", 229 pounds. And he actually has a linebacker comparison to Roquan Smith as well as Devin Bush. So he's an explosive 3-down linebacker, quickness. He's a volume tackler, similar to Roquan, and can hold down 3-down duties at a high level. He is an explosive athlete. He has great acceleration. I think it would be a ton of fun to see Dean playing alongside Roquan Smith. I don't think anyone is stopping them. So Dean is someone who continues to patrol the field with excellent track down speed and range. So if he's on a tight end, if he's on a wide receiver, if he's rushing the pass rusher, he has great speed and moves sideline to sideline, just like we see Roquan Smith do on a weekly basis. And normally, taking a look at some of his Georgia tape, his blitzes do seem to get home thanks to good timing, as well as that burst and leverage that I was talking about earlier. So those are going to be my top 5 day 2 prospects. The Bears have picks at 39 and 48. There may potentially even be an opportunity for Chicago to trade down, get another 3rd or 4th round pick, because a lot of these good players are slipping down the board. Should be exciting to see what happens tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning into episode number 184 of Uncut. If you want more draft coverage, Bears draft coverage, as well as comprehensive coverage throughout the entirety of the 2022-2023 season, do us a favor, drop a like, subscribe, follow wherever you may be listening. You guys have been absolutely killing it with the support recently, and we're going to get you as much content as possible. I also, as I said earlier, I'll repeat it now. I will be live streaming tonight with the Windy City Productions. I'm going to put the link to that down in the description for those of you on YouTube. That stream is going to be live on YouTube, so be sure to check it out for sure. If you want more content from us outside of the podcast, you can head to our website, beareddown.com. We're posting draft articles, columns, and blogs, and we're going to be reacting to all of the picks on there as well. If you would like to find the podcast on social media, you can find it on Instagram and Twitter at Beared Down. And finally, before I close this off, you can find all of my personal social media pages down in the description as well. It's another great way to interact with me, see my thoughts on all the draft picks, and you can see my thoughts on all things Bears, the entirety of the National Football League and the NFL draft, and all of Chicago sports. Feels good to finally be here. The Bears are back. I don't know if I'd go as far to say the Bears are relevant, but it is April 29th. The Bears drafted Justin Fields a year ago today. Ryan Poles, new GM, will look to make a splash tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in once again. It's been a pleasure to be your host. My name is Chris Maltby, and Bears fans, enjoy tonight. We will have videos out tomorrow reacting to the 2nd and 3rd round picks. Let's go get some beasts, though. That's pretty much it for me. Tune into the live stream tonight. And as always, do us a favor and stay safe and bear down. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.